She would have to suffer, considering her qualifications. Hence, between becoming a rich wife and working together with Jeremy to claim the massive wealth my parents left for me, she chose the latter. Because of that, Thomas was no longer of any use to her. That was why she picked a random reason and blocked him. She then falsified it and threw dirt at me. But she did not expect that Thomas would have my contact number and would immediately contact me the moment she blocked him. When Jeremy saw that Joy had become the target of criticism, he became agitated and shoved me that I was not seated properly on the sofa. So I fell, and my stomach knocked into a corner of the table, that a sharp pain instantly spread from my stomach to my entire body, as if a powerful hand was squeezing me. It hurt so much that I broke out in cold sweat. The next second, a pool of warm liquid spread down from between my legs. Someone sitting beside me screamed, "Alania, you're bleeding." Since my baby's life was in danger, no one had any more energy to talk about whether I cheated on Jeremy or not. The group frantically brought me into a car and sent me to the hospital. While I was still conscious, I saw twin ruthless expressions on Joy and Jeremy's faces that I knew that they did not want me to have the baby. What a coincidence. I did not want the baby either. Once I got to the hospital, I was immediately sent to the operating room. Before the anesthetics kicked in, I grabbed the doctor's hand and said, "I don't want the baby. Please abort it." The doctor was stunned. She was not expecting me to suddenly make such a request. "Isn't that man outside your husband? Have you spoken to him about this?" My mind was gradually slowing down, but I forced myself to say, "The baby is in my womb. I have the right to decide whether the baby stays or not." Since I had another chance at life, I wanted to completely cut ties with that piece of trash. While the baby was innocent, I was no saint that I was sworn enemies with Jeremy. There was no way I would keep my enemy's baby around. Instead of being born to be treated unfairly, it would be better for the baby to be born to truly loving parents. An hour later, I woke up in a ward. Plenty of people were around me, and they offered me words of comfort. "Don't be sad, Alania. You're still young. You can have other children in the future." That's right. This baby was simply not fated to be born. Don't let this weigh on you. Rest well. Getting back on your feet is the most important thing. I looked around for Jeremy and Joy, and I was just in time to see a flicker of joy in Jeremy's eyes as he stood at the door, that I believe that he was happy that the baby did not make it, since he could still use it as proof of me cheating on him. Just as I expected, he walked over to me and looked down at me. "While you lost the baby, I still can't accept the fact that you cheated. Once you're discharged, let's get a divorce." The conversation suddenly turned serious. The people who had been comforting me immediately fell silent. Their gazes flickered as they pretended to be busy. I cradled my aching stomach and sat up before I beckoned him over. With a stony expression, Jeremy warily leaned over to me. I tilted my head and drew closer to him. With a hand by his ear, I chuckled. "You're such a clown. Do you really think that I can't conduct a paternity test after the baby is gone?" Jeremy's expression instantly changed, and he straightened his back. "What do you mean by that, Alania?" I trembled in an exaggerated fashion. Tears swiftly welled up in my eyes, and my voice quivered from agitation. "Jeremy, the baby is really yours. You have to believe in yourself. That hospital you went to must not be a proper one, and they got a misdiagnosis. Why don't you check again? Your parents want grandchildren from you." Joy had been standing at the back and not participating, but when she heard this, she decided to stop being a bystander. She strode forward and discreetly blocked my view of Jeremy. "Alania, I know that you can't accept it, but Jeremy went to the hospital with Revealed-Ep2's best andrologist. Its accuracy is definitely better than any general hospitals." Jeremy immediately took over the conversation and said indignantly, "Joy is right. Stop trying to find a loophole. We have to get a divorce. I refuse to become a laughingstock because of you." They worked together seamlessly. When they saw me nod in agreement, their eyes lit up. "Since we've been married for 3 years, I won't be asking for a clean divorce. We'll be splitting our assets equally. The house we're living in will belong to you." Jeremy was delighted and waved off the house in a seemingly generous fashion. I almost snorted. It was a pity that Jeremy was not a mathematician. or he would have graduated with high honors. At the very least, my parents left behind a large fortune for me. And he said that he wanted half of it? How idealistic of him. As for the house he mentioned, it was just a worthless second-hand house. Besides, Revealed-Ep2 had been shifting its economic center to the south over the past few years, which caused the houses in my area to fall. That house was really not worth that much money. He wanted to use my money to get himself a good reputation? This was a great plan. And it was clear that he was not the one who thought about it. I looked toward Joy, and she was startled. I could see the excitement she did not manage to hide. Joy, are you in favor of me divorcing Jeremy? Joy sighed with a conflicted expression. Alania, while we've been best friends for 7 years, I came from the same hometown as Jeremy. You're both precious to me, and I don't know who to support. But I think that no matter what, Jeremy is the victim here. He drew the short end of the stick when he offered to split your assets in half. Why don't you make it up to him a little more? That way, no one will badmouth you. Joy grabbed my hand and squeezed it while she stared at me sincerely, as if she was really doing this out of consideration for me. I flung her hand away and gave her a fake smile. Joy, you have no proof that I cheated. Why do you keep saying that I did? I scowled, as if I was really hurt. Or have you been hoping for me to get divorced? When the other people in the ward heard this, they perked up and listened in to the rest of the conversation. I know that you're childhood friends with Jeremy, and my mother-in-law has always preferred you over me. She has always said that it would be better if you were Jeremy's wife. If you like Jeremy, you can just tell me. We're best friends. I won't say no to your request. But you can't do this to me. If you force me to admit that I cheated in front of so many people, I'll have to live the rest of my life in shame. I grabbed Joy's hand and squeezed it hard while I spoke earnestly. Right before my eyes, I watched as her expression turned dark. In the end, she had to admit that she did not like Jeremy before everyone's judgmental gazes, which meant she could never be with him. Jeremy was furious but could not defend her. If he did, it would prove that they were trying to pull something off in secret.